The Connection Show, inspiring hope, health, and healing. Sponsored by Braveheart Workshops live with Jill Reynolds. And joining me today is Daniel Krynzel. Welcome to the show, Daniel.
Thanks for having me, Jill.
Well, I am blessed to have you on the show, and I can't wait until the guests hear about your life story. Could you tell us where you're located, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm in Florida, actually, currently.
In the beautiful state of Florida. Well, amazing.
Yes.
I'm going to be there in May, so in Miami. Well, before we begin, I'd love for you guys to learn just a little bit about hydrogen, water, and what it does to the cells of our body to rejuvenate our cells from connective tissue issues, arthritis, even cancerous cells. And so I'm going to listen to the
amazing
now
lunch.
from this company.
If you
that's
see
one of
me
our
wobbling,
sponsors.
you guys.
Make sure when you order this product that you put in the code Braveheart and get $100 off this amazing machine to rejuvenate your health.
Hydrogen is used by health professionals as a powerful antioxidant and the number one tool to fight inflammation. Studies show therapeutic potential in cancer, diabetes, digestive, and heart issues, and essentially every organ and system in the body. This is not medical advice, because I'm not your doctor, but if you have any health concerns, I strongly recommend that you learn more about hydrogen. Get educated at holyhydrogen.com and order the best hydrogen generator known to man. Use code BRAVEHEART for $100 off your order. Because hydrogen is the smallest molecule in existence, it can pass through the cell membrane and even the blood-brain barrier to clear out inflammation and free radical damage where other antioxidants just can't get to. Visit holyhydrogen.com to see the latest technology that elevates your immune system and fights inflammation. Search their research library to see if hydrogen has a track record for helping a health concern you're dealing with. Make sure to use code BRAVEHEART for $100 off your order. Remember, holyhydrogen.com.
The Connection Show, inspiring hope, health, healing, connecting the dots of your story and transforming your life. Sponsored by Braveheart Workshops, live with Jill Reynolds.
Well, welcome back to the show. And as you can see, Holy Hydrogen has that amazing product that you can get with $100 off using Braveheart. So let's just dig right in, Daniel, to Godspeed. What is your life like? Take us back on a journey to little Daniel, if you were called Danny Boy or what your names were, nicknames were. Bring us from grammar school to junior high, high school, and onward to today.
Yeah, man, that's a lot. There's a lot that happened. I want to first just kind of open up and just tell everyone why I'm here. Like, I'm so excited to be a part of this, Jill. You're doing some really amazing things, and I'm like on a mission to help as many men and women as I can connect with God. And like, that's my heart. So as I tell my story and stuff, I just want everyone to know that they have an opportunity to connect with God and actually get the truth. And it's my work. It's my life mission. I give the opportunity for free for individuals to be able to do that. They can go to the godwalkapp.com. They can actually download this Godwalk app that we're going to talk about today that's free, simply because it's my mission. Like, I want to connect as many people as I can to God directly. So it's a thing. It's an opportunity for men and women to connect. And it's really exciting to be a part of something that means something. So again, I'm really glad to be a part of this.
Yeah, so take us to little Danny and then how that brought you to want to do what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was a baseball player my whole life as a kid. I remember my dad would get us a batting cage in every spot that we lived in. And he wanted us to be the best, and that was kind of instilled in me that I wanted to be the best. And I carried that out through my life. Like, I've always wanted to be the best. And one of the things that I did was I started building business when I was young. I was 13 years old and had my first business in Ohio. It was amazing.
So how old were you if you, and maybe go back just a couple inches on your mic because you're getting a little bit of feedback. So just a few inches back. How old were you when you started playing baseball? Did you do t-ball at like 5 years old? What age were you?
Yeah, I don't remember. Is the volume better now on the mic?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember exactly what age I was. I know that we started right when we were able to, so probably 5 or something when we played t-ball. I do remember a couple of the games, and I remember my dad always telling me, hit line drives, don't try to hit home runs off the tee. And I'm like, okay, well, so I'd hit line drives and they'd turn into ground balls. And I remember I didn't like that. But yeah, it started at an early age.
So this perfection spirit came in quite young. And so take us on a journey a little bit deeper into your childhood. Siblings, how many kids were there in the family?
Yeah, so I had one brother and one sister that I grew up with. I found out later that I have a half brother that's living in Montana,
Okay.
and we later connected. But yeah, those were my siblings. My mom and dad, they were together for a while, and then towards the end of high school, my parents got separated and divorced, and we moved from Ohio to Las Vegas, where I finished my baseball career and had a lot of fun doing that.
And so take us on that journey, though, back into grammar school. And so what were some of the struggles that you went through in grammar school or junior high? And what was some of the pain points in your childhood with the family?
Yeah, there wasn't really any pain points that I can remember with a family. I do remember I started drinking at a very early age. I was in middle school when I started drinking, and it was bad. Me and my brother, we would literally be partying, 2, 3, 4, 5 nights out of the week as kids. We were riding our bicycles with, a bottle of bourbon in our backpacks. It was horrible. And that kind of situation lasted throughout my whole, young adult life was drinking and partying. And the only thing that actually kept me alive, I truly believe, was that I had to have some sort of physical presence for my baseball. My baseball saved me. I had to be able to play baseball, practice baseball, and it was something to where I always had that in the back of my mind. So I'm really glad that I had that opportunity, back then.
So emotionally, what was going on in your life? Because, I'm a recovered addict. So let me just start with that, Daniel, so that you understand. I'm 41 years recovered from crack cocaine and alcoholism, and 31 years codependency, and 8 years from eating disorders. So what was going on at home? And I, I'm good. I'm well into connecting the dots of story to know that there's 4 generations of sin. And so in your life, something happened that was going on at home that perpetuated this feeling of needing to numb out. We just don't go from everything's great to I'm going to become an alcoholic without a numbing out stage. So what do you feel attributes to your life where you felt I need to try alcohol and now I need to go further into numbing out my emotions?
Yeah, so that didn't happen like you're saying it did when I was a child. That just didn't happen at all. There was no trauma. There was no problem. It was partying. There was no reason other than it was there. It was an exciting thing. As I got older, I could identify why the alcohol was present. But when I was a kid, looking back at it now, I haven't used drugs or alcohol for many years. It's been July 7, 2010 since I've used drugs or alcohol. So it's been a long time now. And as I look back, it wasn't a childhood thing that promoted me to be drinking like that. It was there though. It was present.
What led you though to want to party? So for me, in my connecting of the dots, I grew up in a family where I didn't feel connected at all. I had a lot of loneliness in my life. So I wanted to be with the group of kids that cut classes every day and we went and partied, and that made me feel connected. So, again, we just don't go from living this beautiful childhood to all of a sudden we want to cut classes, party, and get drunk. So something inside of us, this part of us comes in. I'm not good enough. I don't feel like I belong. I want to connect. I feel lonely. Things happen where we want to be with a group of people to escape whatever we want to escape. I mean, it just doesn't. I mean, you could have gone into a group of nerds who read books all day, but you selected the group of people that you selected for a reason.
Okay, so what's your question, Jill?
So what was, do you know what was going on within yourself that made you want to hang around with the kids that partied all day? And I mean, were you feeling like, I don't know. I'm just asking if you have any emotional feelings connected with needing to be with the group of people you were with.
Yeah, the group of people that I was with followed me. I didn't follow them. So
Okay.
I was actually the party.
Okay.
There was no like, oh, I need to belong to this group. They followed me.
Okay. So you felt like you needed to be a leader and you needed to take people on the road of destruction with you.
No, not at all. Why would you say that?
Well, you said that you were partying and everyone followed you and partied with you, and that you spent these years drinking. So I'm just asking. I'm a little bit confused on the connecting of the dots of this junior high, the junior high years.
Yeah. I'm a little confused with your questions.
Okay, that's all right. We'll move on. Let's move on. So,
Okay,
so
great.
go ahead. Take us on whatever journey you want to go on with this. Go ahead.
Well, I'm here. I'm on your show. I just wasn't really exactly sure, what you wanted me to say.
Oh, okay. So, going through high school. So you said you went into high school, and then you ended up doing other things. Go. I just want to know more about you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, the childhood was a lot different than most people think. Yeah, I drank all the time. Yeah, I was a leader, but I've always been a leader my whole life. The reason I was drinking was, again, because it was there. As I got older, then I could identify why I was drinking. And the reason I was drinking as I got older was because it wasn't good enough. Nothing was good enough. Now, it wasn't like I wasn't good enough. I was always good enough. It was that what I was accomplishing wasn't good enough. I needed more. There was always something missing. And me wanting to numb myself, especially in high school and in college, and then even after college, was a simple decision that I need to drink because whatever I'm doing right now is not worthy of like who I am. And I just didn't want to be present for that. And it took me many years to figure out like that was what it was. And so that was the reason why, I was drinking, especially in high school and in college.
So talk to me a little bit about more of those high school and the college days then, of what that all looked like, and where were you? Where did you go off to school? And just a little bit more about in depth so the audience knows more about you.
Yeah. So in high school, I was a leader in high school. I was a leader of the baseball team. We won the state title 2 years in a row. After I moved from Ohio to Vegas, I was a junior in high state. My junior year, we won state. My senior year, I went off to college, and I was partying. Like all weekend, I was just partying, just to obliviation. And when I went into college, it was the same thing. I excelled in baseball in college, and partied, played baseball, partied, played baseball. That was my life. And even at that time, I didn't know why I was partying. Like it took me, like I said, many years to be able to look back and go, okay, what's going on? And there was like this missing feeling. And it wasn't that I was walking around like not confident. I was more confident than most men. Like I was the man. People follow me. I'm the leader. Like that was my whole mindset. But still there was like this longing for like filling this gap. And it kept going even when I was in business. So I get out of college. I've got 2 kids pretty quick. And I get into business, I get into the mortgage business, I make a bunch of money. And Jill, I mean, it was crazy how much money I made, like to a point to where I'm a multimillionaire and I'm young, 25, 26 years old, like have more money than I knew what to spend it on.
And were you married at
And
this time, Daniel?
I was with the mother of my children. We never got married, but we were together for many years.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, did you ever get called up to play professional ball, or what's it called right before professional ball? What's the terminology?
Yeah, the minor leagues.
Yeah, the
minor leagues.
Yeah. Did you ever get called up? Mm-hmm.
So I was in a very quick stint after college, kind of trying out and being a part of an independent, professional baseball team. The thing was, I had my second kid on the way after that, and so, I hung up the cleats. I was done. There was just no reason in my mind back then to keep going with baseball.
So how did you process that disappointment? I'm assuming there was disappointment there because you had spent your entire life wanting to be good enough and to be the best and to be the leader, and your every waking moment when you weren't high was on baseball. So how did you transition going from being the best of the best of the best in baseball, the leader, knowing you were great, to stopping all of a sudden? That's a big part of this story. I can't imagine it's not.
Yeah, it's not a big part of the story.
It's not a big part. You just went
No.
from loving it to just cutting it off.
No. I towards the end, I wasn't even loving it anymore.
Okay.
It was old.
Okay.
It was old. It was a grind. You have to realize that when you're in college, like that's one thing. It's a lot of baseball. It's baseball every single day except for Sundays. 6 days a week is a lot to be, a collegiate athlete. And I enjoyed the game, but at the same time, I wasn't. There was something still missing. Like it was the same thing missing, and it was a great excuse actually. When the second child was on its way, okay, well, I'm done. Wasn't hard at all. So I went back home, and it was Vegas at the time. Got into the mortgage business, made a bunch of money. And even after I made the bunch of money and had the house and all of the amazing cars and motorcycles and toys and owned my own mortgage company, I'm the boss, I'm the man, all that stuff, I still would be drinking at night. And it wasn't, I smoked weed, so I wouldn't even say that I was an addict. I mean, marijuana is a drug, but that was pretty much the extent of my drug use. It was more drinking. Drinking was my choice. And as I kept drinking and smoking weed, the reason I was doing that, I look back now, was because what I was doing wasn't enough. Like it wasn't good enough. Like make $100,000 in a month wasn't enough. And for most people, like that's way more than enough. It was, my thought would come through my mind, this isn't enough. And so what I do, I'd numb myself. And now I know why it was never enough. It was the moment that I brought God into my life, and I invited him in, and I asked him for help. I mean, I straight up asked God for help with my drinking problem. That was the first step that I took.
And what led you to that? So you're in the mortgage business. Things are going fabulous, but still not good enough, like you said. You have two amazing children. You have this woman. And so what was that turning point and where were you when you found God? Where were you? How did you get introduced to God?
Yeah, so I knew of God my whole life. We grew up across the street from a church in Ohio. We didn't go to church, often or anything like that, but I knew of God. But I was just at a point to where I was at one of the lowest parts of my life, like mentally. And it was July 7, 2010. I'll never forget the day. I asked God for help. I said, look, I can't stop drinking. I need your help. Like, help me. And I got what a lot of people call like a burning bush, sensation and experience where I'm outside in the heat in July in Las Vegas, and I got even hotter than the 110 or whatever it was out that day. I was like 150. My whole body was like on fire, almost melting, and I just felt this calm that came over me. And that calm just really, really, really gave me like this comfort that I've never had before. Like, I didn't know I knew it was God, but I didn't know like what the extent of that just asking God for help really would do for me. So I asked him, and I've never wanted to drink or smoke pot or do any drugs ever since then. Like, I can be in a bar situation or a restaurant situation where they're serving alcohol, or be at a work event or cocktail party if I need to be there for a reason. I'm just not drawn to it because I'm so close to God.
So you don't drink at all.
Then,
you don't drink at all anymore now.
Absolutely not anything.
So
No.
after that day occurred, what besides the fact? I mean, obviously it's a big fact because it seems similar to happened to me. After that desire to quit using left you, what else took place in your life as far as the girl you were living with, your relationship there, and then your career path? You were in the mortgage industry. So what happened after God came in?
Yeah, a lot of things happened. So first thing was my business. I didn't have a business at that point. So something I didn't mention. There was the real estate crash that took me out, and that's what drove me into drinking more. So it was great, and then it wasn't great. And that time in 2010, there was like 2 years of no business. So it was bad for me. So what happened was this: once I connected with God, I built a business back in the real estate business that was bigger than it ever was before, and in a market that was much more difficult to make and earn income in. 2006, 2007, you could make $1 million in a year if you were halfway smart at business in the real estate business. You could. 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, all those years, very difficult to make money in the real estate business.
So in that 2 years, you said when the crash happened and your drinking got worse, and you were, before that occurred, and you were making all that money, had you saved up and invested, or did you just live as though it would never end? And did you wipe out all your money? Did you end up losing everything, or did you have enough, like a house paid for and all that you didn't lose everything?
And I started from zero again.
You had to start all over again. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And it was great. It was great. It was the greatest thing that could have ever happened to me. It really was.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, oh, poor me, boo-hoo me. No, forget that. People that talk like that are weak. Just going to tell you right now, that's how I feel about those people. Like, it was divine. It needed to happen that way.
Okay.
And then when I have God on my side, that's when things changed. I built this business in the real estate business that was 4 times bigger than it ever was before, and it was in a market that was difficult. Like, I made a bunch of money, and then I had that, and I wasn't drinking, I wasn't smoking, I wasn't doing anything. I was connected with God. I was following God's instructions. He was giving me guidance, and then all of a sudden, I felt this same feeling that happened before, that was happening throughout my whole life. It wasn't good enough. And I remember having this conversation with God, like, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, I just got $131,000 deposited into my bank account for 6 days of commissions. So in 1 week, I made $131,000. I had way more money coming in that month. and that in the next week, and the pipeline was huge, and I feel like crap. So I asked God, I said, what is wrong with me? And I heard his voice. I heard his voice like it was clear as day. He said, you're meant for way more than this, son. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not living in your purpose. So I heard this, and I wanted to know what the answer was. It was like that cliffhanger that God gave me. Like, you better get this answer, or else you're going to feel like this forever, because it wasn't a money problem anymore. Like, not far from a money problem. It was a purpose problem.
And a spiritual
And that's
problem. And a spiritual problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
What? So
And
what? I'm
really-
really curious. I got to go back for a moment. So in that 2-year period, from the time you lost everything,
The 2-year period's over. The
Yeah.
2-year period's over.
But in that 2-year period, from the time you lost everything to you built all this up, God speaks to you again. Where was your girlfriend? The mother of your
She was
children.
gone.
Okay.
She was gone.
Okay. So you were alone, and were your children with you, with her? Did you have relationship with your kids then in that 2-year period of time?
No.
Okay. So she took off, and you didn't see your children. And so then what did God do in your life with relationships besides your work?
Yeah. They're the greatest in the world. And they started to become better than they ever were once I was connected.
Okay.
Like, absolutely the best. Matter of fact, as I started walking with God on a daily basis, because that's the decision that I made, I was like, I need to know what my purpose is. So I started walking with God, asking him what my purpose is. And the woman of my dreams show up. She shows up like God delivered her to me, like just gave her to me. And God made this woman for me. Like, she is the greatest woman ever in every single facet of life. There's nothing more that I could ask for. Like, there's things that this woman brings to the table that I didn't even know was available, or I didn't even know I could ask for, and they're there. So that was a huge thing. The relationships with my kids now is amazing because of, this connection.
Are you married? Are you married now, Daniel?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. And then your children, how old are the kids now?
We got a bunch of kids. Collectively, we got 6 kids. They're young and old. They're everywhere.
Okay. So you're how long have you been married to this amazing woman now?
It's been about 6 months.
Okay, just 6. Oh, so this is new. This is a new one. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So take us then. So God delivers you with this amazing new wife. You've got the children back in your life. God is showing you a purpose. So from the real estate then venture, when you felt like even making all that money, it wasn't good enough. Take us then to today of how then God transitioned you from the real estate business into where you are today.
Yeah. So I realized why it wasn't good enough. And it was like my whole life question. Like, the reason why I was drinking, the reason why I was sedating with alcohol was because what I was doing was not what I was supposed to be doing. It wasn't enough. So as I made this commitment, this is the commitment I made. I made a commitment that I was going to walk with God every single day and have a direct, open dialogue conversation with God every single day until I got the answers I was looking for. And he gave me the answers. The answers he gave me was that, number one, I can connect with him on a daily basis. He will guide me, and he won't just guide me just in my financial purpose, but he'll guide me in my financial purpose. He'll guide me in my body and health. He'll guide me in my relationships. He'll guide me in every single area that's important in life. He will guide me. And obviously, as I'm building this connection with him, that spiritual component, that connection piece is there as well, because I'm working on all of this with God. So my life has been completely transformed now that I'm inside my financial purpose. I don't have to sedate anymore. There's no reason to sedate. There's no reason to drink. There's no reason to use drugs, because I'm full, I'm fulfilled because of this connection that I've created. And as I created this connection, and again, that's why I opened up with like this is why I'm here. Like, I have an opportunity for men and women to have a fulfilled life, and it's my purpose. Like, I give it away for free. That's why I was telling everyone at the beginning, like, everyone can go to the godwalkapp.com and they can download this Godwalk app, which is literally this strategic way for you to connect with God on a daily basis and be able to get coaching directly from God, not from me, not from AI, not from any kind of weird app thing, from God. He'll speak into your mind when you open up in this app the way that we've developed it, to where you'll get your answers for your financial purpose, and you'll live your financial purpose, so you won't have to sedate. You won't want to use drugs. You won't want to drink. You won't want to use pills. None of that stuff will happen when you're inside your financial purpose, because here's the truth behind it. When you're not inside your financial purpose, at some level, you will feel like you're not good enough. You'll feel like you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And that's truly because you're not. You're not doing what God made you to do. You're not the person that you're supposed to be.
Well, and I
When
want
you're
to
not
take
living.
I want to take it one step further. When you're not in your spiritual purpose, you'll never find your financial purpose.
Yeah, I think those two are very, very much connected. Very connected. Spiritual and financial is massively connected.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. Our scoreboard on how many people we help spiritually is our bank account. If you're helping a lot of people and your bank account is zero, you probably aren't helping a lot of people. But if you're helping a lot of people and you're a multimillionaire, that means you're helping a lot of people. Think about it. There's a lot of people that make a bunch of money that aren't helping people. There's those too. They're serving the wrong side. But the people that are truly serving God, the good side of this equation, they're wealthy. The reason they're wealthy is because that's how many people they've helped. That's what I truly believe with the spiritual and the financial piece.
Well, let me show people your bio here for just a moment. So this is Daniel's bio and the different websites and LinkedIn and Instagram, how you can connect with him personally. And so let me ask you this question. How are you making money today? Because you said your app is for free. So where does your money come from?
Yeah. So my financial purpose is to connect as many men and women to God as possible. And also with that, some of the men that actually are connected with God through the free Godwalk app actually are being called by God to be a part of God's army. And God's army is the opportunity for these men to actually assemble quarterly here in Florida, and it's a brotherhood. And those individuals, it's a big commitment for these individuals. I don't usually talk about this, but you asked the question, so I'll talk to you about it on the podcast here. But there is an opportunity for men to actually assemble and be a part of God's army, directly involved with God and God's army. And that right there has a time commitment, and there's also a financial commitment with being a part of the Army Live. So what is it called? It's called Men of God Alphas, and exclusively it's God's army. Like, literally, I have instructions from God to be looking for these individuals.
And so you gather together quarterly in Florida.
Yep.
For these groups and stuff, and then there's a membership to be part of the group. Is that correct?
That's right.
And so that's where your finances come from, where you support your family through this ministry that you have. Is that correct? Am I correct on that?
Yeah, it's not a ministry though. It's an army. Like, okay. I want to be clear. Like, we don't have church. Like, if you go to church, that's great, but this is not a church. This is an army. There's tactical training. You learn how to defend yourself. You learn how to defend your country. You learn how to be a man. It's the complete opposite of what the military is teaching all of our individuals now in the U.S.
And how many men are part of this organization now? Currently?
There's a lot of men a part of it. We don't talk about the numbers on purpose, but okay. But it's an army. It's an army with God being connected directly.
Okay. Well, that sounds like an amazing thing. God's leading us to do an event here in Branson, Missouri, which is going to be called Resilient Bravehearts for such a time as this in Branson, where I live. Sight and Sound Theater just released March 15th the story of Esther. The play Esther has come to Branson, and millions are flocking from around the country to come to Sight and Sound to see it. And so in conjunction with Sight and Sound doing Esther, we're going to do an Esther's event here, where it's going to be in Titus, in the book of Titus. It talks about how older women are supposed to mentor the young women. And today, with the culture going on in the world, I believe that us women need to be commissioned together to mentor these younger generation, tweens, teens, college girls that are really getting lost in the shuffle with all the insanity going on in social media and everything. And so we're going to gather together on a mentorship type of a workshop conference with amazing topics. And then on Sunday, we're going to create an atmosphere in the book of Esther as she was getting prepared to be presented to the queen with other women that were getting presented. The eunuchs for 1 year beautified the women with oils in different types of beautification. And so on Sunday, we want to beautify, Daniel, homeless women, recovered addicts, domestic violence women who sometimes don't have that money to go get a beautiful haircut or a pedicure, manicure, and we want to beautify them. And then just like Esther, when she was presented to King Xerxes, we want to throw a banquet for the women. So we're praying that you guys will go to braveheartworkshops.com, to our website, and the event should be posted within the next few days. And Daniel, if you wouldn't mind with your army of men to pray up, we are looking for sponsors to sponsor the event so that we can just give back to these amazing women and grow them strength. For the army of women, because the army of women, if it wasn't for Mordecai, Esther wouldn't have been presented. And so we need the Mordecais of the world, and we need the Esthers of the world to be fearless and courageous warriors to fight the war out there. And we know that it prevails with goodness because God is good. And so with that, would you give us some closing remarks on Godspeed? Because I would love, again, I've given them your website. Any other closing remarks with your army of men?
Yeah. It doesn't start with the army. It starts with you and God. So that's the first thing. We look, this is no sales pitch. I don't want you to think about God's army and men of God, alphas, until you're walking with God in the app. That's why we give the app away for free, because literally, if you're not going to be willing to walk with God on a daily basis, like, you do not qualify to be a part of the army. So that's, again, why I don't speak about it usually in the podcast, but you just asked the question. So I didn't want to not give you the answer. But the men that are called, that feel like they need to know exactly what their financial purpose is, they're looking for answers so they can stop sedating and they can live a life that's full. These men can go to the godwalkapp.com and they can download the Godwalk app for free, and they can have lifetime access to it for free. And if they, are inspired to apply for Men of God Alphas, great. If they don't, great. You can have the app for free and you can connect with God, and you can find out what your financial purpose is. So go to the godwalkapp.com, and you can download that for free, and you can connect with God and find out what your financial purpose is. Why are you here is going to be the answer you're going to be able to get through the app.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show. Stay on as we end. And everyone, thanks so much for listening in to Daniel's story today. Connect with Godwalk app. And thanks again for joining us on the Connection Show. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us. Amari Global is the mental wellness company. In 2018, Amari won the Nutra Award for the world's first award-winning gut-brain axis nutrition system for their flagship product, the Fundamentals Pack, clinically proven to increase good bacteria in the gut and incredible benefits. Amari means love, and there is love in every bottle. Mental health matters, and Amari is the mental wellness company. Prepare your body's gut microbiome for optimized mental wellness with a reboot and get yourself back to feeling joyful and motivated with mood. Round out your daily nutrition with GBX food systems. Crush your daily to-do list each day with Edge. Support your digestion and immune system with digestive, probiotics, omega, and Vita GBX supplements. Fuel your mental edge with our mental fitness pack. Feel like your best self with the Happy Hormone Pack. Unlock your brain's potential with happy neurons with the Happy Mind Pack. And combine these products for an ultimate day with the Happy Juice Pack. For weight loss and energy, order the Transformational Pack. Our Kids Pack is the first comprehensive mental wellness pack for kids and teens. For a complete mind and body nutrition system, get your kids these today. Begin your wellness journey with Amari's Starter Pack and save. Start with the Entrepreneur Pack if you're serious about making an impact on your mental, physical, and financial wellness. Launch your Amari business with all our top products, packs, offers, and save. Help others achieve overall wellness too and gain financial wellness. Become a mental wellness partner today. Shop now and save. Sign up today by going to our website listed on this page. The Resilient Braveheart Women's Conference for such a time as this will be inspiring hope, health, and healing in Branson, Missouri, August 19th and the 20th at the Yakov Theater. Tickets are available now by going to braveheartworkshops.com. Join us in Branson in the beauty of the Ozarks this summer, and join us too by going to Sight and Sound Theater to see the story of Esther. Get your tickets today at braveheartworkshops.com. Thank you for joining us on The Connection Show. Our show is made possible by your support. Please go to our website and click on the Affiliate Partners page now. You can support us either on Venmo or our Cash App today. We love our podcast guests and our social media subscribers. Our channels are made possible by you, our listeners. Please go to our website and go to our Contact Us page and click on all our social media pages. Make sure you click the bell on YouTube and subscribe, and the follow us button on Rumble. Our affiliate partners are featured on our show, and we thank you for supporting them and their products. Each of them have fabulous offerings with discounts when you mention Braveheart when you order. Please order today by going to braveheartworkshops.com and clicking on Affiliate Partners.